Welcome back, guys, to another How Tuesday on the Bendin Wrenches YouTube channel. My name is Brian. For the new subscribers there, I see we had a nice little influx, and I appreciate you guys for tagging along and checking out our adventures. But today, our buddy Andy dropped off his 2011 Duramax, the old LML. I wanted to show you guys a couple things. We're just helping him out. You know, we're gonna go ahead and change the fuel filter, the spin-on automatic transmission filter, and while we're at it, we're gonna change the oil. Might as well, you're already there. So just kind of show you a couple tips and tricks that I do for some of these pick-em-up trucks like this. Let's get to it. All right, so we'll go through a little parts list here real quick to help you guys out in the future for doing this yourself. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, or if you want to be helpful, drop it in the comments below, but the location on these Duramax fuel filters, I think from 01 all the way up are in the same spot. Now, I know the housings change a little bit, but the whole run of the Duramax, I'm pretty sure the old fuel filter's in the right spot, same spot. So this is gonna be helpful for pretty much all you guys getting into that. So we got our Wix oil filter. Gotta use a good filter, right? Pretty straightforward there. You guys know how to do an oil change. We won't go into all that stuff, but there is the Wix number for you. We got the extended drain Wix fuel filter. Got this unit here, and part number for you, 33960 XE, or it's not extended drain, extended efficiency, or some nature of that anyways. Now, the Wix ones are plastic. I know the AC Delcos are steel. They go on the same way, it doesn't matter. So we got that. Another thing I advise you to grab, just in case. You may not need it, but you don't want to be in there and need it. So what I like to do, getting into these trucks here, you know, get the old fuel water sensor. So in the bottom of the fuel filter, this little sensor screws in there, and that'll, you know, sense the water in the fuel, right? That's what it's for, fuel in water sensor, makes sense. So this little dude screws into the bottom of the fuel filter housing like I just stated. What happens a lot is the wires here are very thin. I mean, they might be a 20 gauge wire, and they tend to rot off or break off or whatever, so you'd hate to be in there and be held up because of this. Now, granted, you could probably put the old one in and just deal with the light, but like I said, for the 40 bucks, I think it was, have it on hand just in case. If you don't need it, return it or keep it on the shelf because you might need it. So let's go ahead, get this hood pop the hood on this unit. We'll show you where that filter is. This is actually a pretty clean truck for a Michigan truck. It does have a little bit of the old wheel arch rust, but it ain't that bad. You know, it's only got, let's see. I mean, it is a Duramax, so 278 on her. So miles, we're doing good. All right. So, again, this should be the same as your cat eyes and that type of stuff as well. All right, you're looking around the engine bay wondering where the hell this fuel filter is. Well, it's really tough to see, let alone on camera, guys. But it is, you can start to see the numbers there. I can tell you it's a Napa Gold filter from here, underneath the airbox. So, a lot of guys will say, hey, pull your fender liner, you can get to it right there, which you can, 100%. Except for who wants to pull their fender liner on a Michigan truck when, you know, the push pins are gonna break and the fender's rotted off because, you know, God forbid we should just move, you know, but we're here. So, I like to go ahead and pull this airbox assembly out. With the airbox assembly out, you can actually get in there and turn that, or get your strap wrench in there, which I'll show you that trick if we need it, to loosen up, tighten it up. And then a lot of times what you can do is just set it down, and then reach through the fender liner with the tire on, and fish the filter out. That way, you're not pulling the fender liner, but, you know, you can get it out of there. The biggest reasoning is, with all this stuff in the way and all the AC lines, you can't physically get it out of there. At least I haven't figured out a way without bending and cutting and hacking shit. So let's get this airbox pulled and we'll get down there. Get this airbox out of our way. Once that guy pops up. So this one here, like I said, this coolant reservoir and this hose are kind of in the way, and they do vary over the years. So we're just gonna go ahead and pull this hose out of our way. All right, got that out. And then you'll see this whole air assembly will pull out of your way. All right, so we're finally down to the fuel filter. Still kind of buried in there. You can see our primer bulb there, which that'll be something we'll bring up at a later moment when we get that changed. And then you can see the filter underneath. So one thing I noticed, guys, is the wires are already broke off our fuel and water sensor. Because I was looking, I'm like, man, I go to unplug it, and guess what's not there? So I will, once I get a little more real estate, I'll show you that real fast. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you how to get that dude loose, get a little better camera angle for you, and show you how to fish it out of there the easy way. All right, so we're using a strap wrench. I'll show you that once we get this filter off. Go ahead and slip that around your filter. It is kind of a bear to get down in here, guys. Nobody said it was easy, but we're gonna try to make it easier to help you up for the future here. So once you get your strap wrench around that, get your ratchet on an extension. And go ahead and loosen her up.
You're doing it wrong. Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Usually once they pop, they'll spin off pretty easy. All right, get your tool out of the way. Go ahead and spin that out of the way. Of course, there's fuel in it, so understand that before you dump it all over everything. I kind of just drop them. All right, you can see we got our filter right here in the fender well area, and our friendly strap wrench came along with it. All right, get that out of the way. All right, guys, we got her out. So, the old fuel water sensor, it's broken wires in the bottom there. And remember, this is full of fuel. So we're going to dump this guy out. So since the wires are already broke, we're gonna spin a new one in, and I'll show you how to do that. But they do make, I think, a special socket to unscrew those as well. Generally, we use a pair of channel locks, works just fine, but oh yeah. You notice that wasn't red either, so make sure you ain't doing no illegal stuff. All right, so again, we got our Wix fuel filter. It does come with a new seal for that fuel water sensor. We're gonna hold on to that. Ours does come with one, so we're just gonna use what's on the standard sensor. Screw that guy in. All right, so again, pair of channel locks will work. I mean, they do make a socket like we talked about, but just snug her up. It is plastic on plastic. You ain't got a monkey paw that thing, you know what I'm saying? And then the other thing is, do not forget your O-ring up here. So, all right, guys, we got our seal. Came with it in our little baggie here for your top portion. We got that obviously screwed in. So the one thing that I like to do is I like to kind of, when I say glue the O-ring down, I don't mean physically like super glue it down, but I use a little bit of high tack. It's just a gasket holder, just a couple dabs, because these things will fall out. And the problem is you're already trying to fish it through the fender liner and then screw it up on there, and you barely can see as it is, right? So what do you do? So again, just put a couple dabs, just so it kind of holds that O-ring in place. You're not trying to seal with it, guys, just remember that. All right, and that's it, she's stuck. Let's go ahead and put this bad boy back in. I know people will put, you know, seafoam or power service or different things in it. It's just really difficult to keep that thing filled up. So Duramax is what's nice. I got the little hand primer on top. So we'll show you that thing here in just a moment. Let's get her back in. All right, let's fish her back in the hole. And again, it's not full of fluid right now, so it's not that big of a deal. But see, we just dropped it. Good reason why you should have that O-ring seated in there good. We'll kind of just set this guy up there. All right, so grab your filter. actually, guys, here's the other connector. If you can see that, that's the one that's broke off. We got to change. And it's just like spinning on an oil filter. All right, so wrong or right, I always like to, on these fuel filters, snug them up a little bit with a strap wrench. And make sure you get around your wire. You don't want to snag that guy. All right, and don't forget to plug your fuel and water sensor off to the side. This clips in. Get your strap wrench out of the way. All right, we got that fuel filter all tightened up. We're gonna show you how to prime this unit. So what's nice about Duramax, and some of the other vehicles have it too, I think Cummins and all them guys have a primer, but that makes it nice. So you'll basically pump this up, and at that point it's pulling fuel from the tank, filling the filter. It'll start to get some sort of resistance, and you can actually hear it moving fuel. All right, guys, you're gonna go ahead and lay everything back out. So before you hook up your air intake, what I like to do, because what's gonna happen, guys, is it's gonna start up and shut off. Problem is with that air box in the way, you cannot get to your fuel filter primer. So go ahead and plug in your mass airflow, plug in your temp sensor there, and go ahead and give it a start, and then you'll have to, like I said, prime it again, and then it should start and stay running. So let's go ahead and see. Yeah, just like that. See, that's what I was referencing. So we'll go ahead and pump it a couple more times. Basically, we got air in the system. And again, with the hose in the way, you won't be able to. There we go. Plus, then you can check for leaks as well. Batteries ain't the strongest on this old drill. We had to throw the jump box on to help. But once we got her winging over, the mechanical pump took over and bled the air out of the system. So we got her fired up. So let's go ahead and get this oil changed. We're going to show you that little spin on oil or transmission filter while we're under there too. All right, we got her up in the air. We'll give you a little walk through underneath this truck, show you where the other two filters are. All right, so transmission filter on the old Allison, easy enough to get to. Yes, there is one in the pan. Yes, we know that. We are not doing that today. But spin on, dude, and actually that's pretty rusty. That one's been a minute anyways. So we got that guy, and then we do have our oil filter up here. We're gonna go ahead and change to, and change the oil. Since we're in the air. But guys, always be safe on these trucks. They're big, they're heavy. I mean, I do have an 11K hoist, so it helps, but be safe. We always throw the extra stand under the tail of these and, you know, set her on the locks. But on that note, let's get the oil drained out and get these two guys changed. All right, so the old transmission filter, I wish more manufacturers did this, to be honest with you, because I think people would be more apt to change them. You know, you think about it, when you got to pull the pan, if things aren't convenient, you ain't gonna do it, right? Well, it's same for changing your transmission filters. But Allison, they were smart. They put an external one on it. So you'll go ahead and spin that guy off just like your regular oil filter. I've had a lot of good luck with the ATP brand of filters. That's what this is here. Let me get the box for you. A B201. And you'll notice as well, guys, there is a magnet in here. So that does go above your filter. That is normal. You're going to want to go ahead and clean it off. You can start to see the gray. So basically that's clutch material and wear just from, you know, over the years of service. So what I like to do is I like to set the magnet right on the filter. That way it's easier to spin on and you know it's not going to be cocked in there or something like that. So go ahead and spin this guy back on there. Like I said before, pretty straightforward. Spin it off, spin it on, just like your engine oil filter. It's just style I got, a Blue Point. Works out well. Alright, throw that new guy on there. It's always nice to put a little oil on that seal. And again, hand tight. Alright, last boring stuff, I promise. Go ahead and get your drain plug pulled. You know the routine, guys. Let it fly.
That's what she said.
Alright, get this gem topped off, and we're about wrapped up with this unit. Well, folks, that's how you change a fuel filter, trans filter, oil change, all that fun stuff on your 11 Duramax. See, guys, it's not that big of a deal. You know, you can do it too. Just saying. But, a little update on a couple projects here. The LTD, she's heading to Rusty's soon. I know I dropped that the other day. We're going to run her down Friday, or excuse me, what's today? Today's Tuesday. This following Monday, she's going down to Rusty's to get a little tuning done. And then the mega truck is coming in tomorrow. So hopefully by Friday, you'll see that bad boy running. It's been a long time coming. It was in the shop, guys, I know, for the New Year's thing. And we drug it out because, you know, more important things. It's you know, it's wintertime. So we got to work on, you know, other projects, of course. And then we got another fun one in store. We got the S10. She's still here. Trust me, you're going to see her soon enough. But our friend Bill got a hold of us, and he's got himself a 97 Chevy 1500. He bought it brand new, and it's not in bad shape. It's been a Michigan truck, but it's decent, right? So we're going to take that unit, and we're going to LS swap it, of course, because that's what we do around here. So why not? So we got something special in the works. You'll be seeing that here probably in a week or two. You'll start seeing that unit pop up. May pop up in the background, may pop up right here, you know. So that'll be a fun one. It's gonna, actually, that's a 5-speed as well, so that's another NV3500. Now that we're, you know, experienced at putting manual transmissions behind LS, is because, you know, we've done it once, right? So it just, same shit, just different truck, right? So that's coming up. But, you know, guys, I really appreciate you for tuning into this kind of stuff. Hopefully some of the how-tos are keeping you intrigued. I know they're more purposeful to the owner of who has one of these, but, you know, if you have any questions, you want to see anything unique or anything goofy on these types of vehicles, let me know. Drop it in the comments below. But we'll see you Friday. Make sure you like, subscribe, share all the good stuff. See you on the next one.